to Twin Cities Live, co-hosting with James Denton today, and this is called the family table. This is where we are.
I see.
Yeah, we're sitting here. We're feeling very family-like, and we're talking about something the kids would probably rather not talk about: school, and when they're struggling to keep up with grades. You've got 7- and 9-year-olds.
Yep.
I mean, keeping them on track in school has to be a big priority.
It is, yeah, it's tricky, and you really need to stay on top of it.
Yeah.
If you don't, because they're not going to tell you.
No.
That I've learned. So you have to stay. Parents have to stay involved.
So in some homes, of course, homework can be a constant battle. And today, TCL producer Kelly Hansen is going to show us how tutoring might not solve the problem, but something called brain training might be what your kids need. Take a look.
Ready, go.
Blue, yellow, black.
It's repetitive, almost chant-like,
Blue, yellow.
and it's changing the way the brain functions.
It used to be believed that the skills we were kind of born with would just stay with us through life, and there wasn't really any way to affect them. But that's not true. You can actually change those underlying mental skills.
It's all happening at LearningRx, a center where kids don't do homework. Instead, they work on the root cause of their learning struggle.
The student that is struggling to remember multiplication tables, most likely their issue is weaker long-term memory. And that can also show up as reading comprehension issues, test-taking struggle.
We knew something needed to be done. She was really struggling. She couldn't read.
As a third grader, Renee Remdy's daughter, Elle, was failing, and tutoring after school wasn't helping in the long term.
You can imagine what homework was like. It was a struggle. It was a battle. Elle was always fighting us. She never wanted to do it because it was so difficult for her. She was missing core classes like science and social studies, and nothing was helping. She just kept falling farther and farther behind.
I just didn't understand it at all. I would just look at it and not get it.
Her mom found LearningRx, and the training began.
20,
8
off
and
by
7
one.
are 15.
Dang it.
You are off by 1.
There's a common theme, and the theme usually is, you know, this helped my child get through this grade, and we saw some improvement, and then the next year or the next subject matter came along that was a little harder, and then boom, they dropped right back down. Again, the reason is the underlying issue was never addressed.
Elle began meeting with a trainer almost daily for 6 months.
You think about training, you think about going to the gym, right? And if you're working with a personal trainer, that trainer is really encouraging, is going to push you, and is like, let's go, let's go. That's a lot of what's happening here is we're training these underlying mental skills. We're actually doing very intense mental exercises in a one-on-one setting that are targeting each individual child's cognitive or mental weaknesses.
And it's hard not to notice how loud it is in here. It's for good reason. Number one, classrooms are loud, and number two, it's all about concentration.
The trainers really push you really hard, and they try to distract you and try to literally just train your brain and make you focus and work really hard.
We don't have to struggle with her homework anymore. She's completely doing everything on her own. Her teachers love her.
I was actually enjoying a book that I read, and it was like pretty much like watching a movie because I was excited and I just wanted to finish it. But before that, I didn't want to pick up any books. So I saw the results. 7.
That's right, pick them
8.
up.
Okay.
Nice, there you go.
Oh, that's so great. And LearningRx Executive Directors Rich, who you saw in that piece, and then Baird here with us today. Hi, you guys. Nice to see you.
Great to be here.
Gosh, it's pretty incredible to see the confidence in that young girl, Baird. What's it like for you to see that?
Yeah, it's amazing. When we see that kind of thing every day.
Yeah.
I mean, most of these kids have struggled for a long time. When you actually help them get beyond that, it just kind of opens up a world for them.
And you, Rich, you both have kind of a personal story of why you got into this and why you wanted to become involved with LearningRx. Tell us about that.
Yeah, well, for me, it was I have 3 daughters. My youngest daughter, Katie, just was, about 5 years ago, was diagnosed with ADHD, receptive and expressive language delays. So school was really frustrating for her. My 2 older girls really didn't have an issue with school, and it was really difficult for her, very frustrating. And really the only advice we received from the clinic where she was diagnosed was to put her on meds.
Oh, yeah.
And so we wanted to help her, so we went down that road kind of reluctantly. It's a lot of experimenting, and her appetite really dropped. She's this really intelligent, fun girl, and she got really moody and crabby. And it helped her focus a little, but we didn't want to see her change that way. So that was a big impetus for my wife and I to open the centers.
That is so cool. And Baird, you're kind of a similar, and you said this is sort of a similar deal with people who are owning LearningRx centers, is that it comes from a personal family motivation.
Yeah, almost always. I mean, I have 3 daughters like Rich does.
Oh.
And, yeah, in my case,
You guys have a lot to talk
we
about.
do actually. Yeah, and we didn't even know each other before this, but we were on these parallel paths. And in my case, it was reading difficulties.
Yeah.
Second grade, she could not read, and we were trying everything, and it just wasn't working. And we found LearningRx for my wife and I, just like opened our eyes, because we found out it wasn't just the reading issue, it was also the memory, which was why we'd go over and over this stuff, but it wasn't sticking. So with LearningRx, we actually brought it here. We opened the first Twin Cities location.
So this brain training idea, I mean, who is this really working for? Who, if you're at home and you're thinking, my kid is having a tough time, or my grandchild is having a tough time, what are some of the warning signs that, hey, this might be a good fit for you?
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Brett.
Go ahead. No, it could be anybody. We work from kindergartners to college students. It could be reading issues, attention, math, but also even adults. We work with people of all ages.
Yeah, and especially if you have, students who have been consistently struggling. A lot of, like Elle's a good example, she did a lot of tutoring before she came to LearningRx, which helped her for that grade, and then guess what? She dropped back down and struggled because those underlying issues weren't addressed.
To hear a girl that age say, I did never want to pick up a book,
I know.
to I couldn't put it down. I just wanted to finish it. It was like watching a movie. Are you kidding me? I mean, as a parent, that's the dream reaction,
Well, and James, what's exciting about Elle is she trained with us about 3.5 years ago. So this is now, she trained with us in 4th grade. She's now in 7th. She's made the jump to middle school.
I just can't even imagine the confidence that builds in kids, though, and just all the things that would impact of not feeling that anxiety about going to school, not feeling like you're dreading doing your homework, not feeling like you're disappointing yourself and your family. I mean, it's so much more than just saying, oh, we're going to train your brain. It's your whole life.
It changes a lot of family dynamics. I mean, you could kind of sense from Renee, the mom there was a lot of frustration in the home because they saw this potential that Elle had, but yet she wasn't really able to achieve it.
Well, you think about what it does to a child if you have 2 other siblings, and as you said, they were having no problem whatsoever.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, you can't figure out why you're struggling.
Right.
And then for them to be able to turn that around like she did, and the self-confidence that brings, I mean, it changes everything about their lives.
That's so cool, you guys. I love that. Thanks for sharing your stories and sharing your stories about your families. And you can call the number on your screen. Mention Twin Cities Live. You will get half off an initial assessment at LearningRx, and you can find a center near you by just going to our website. Go to twincitieslive.com. And we want to thank LearningRx for sponsoring Twin Cities Live. Thanks for coming, you guys. We appreciate it.